maybe these new iPhones have camera features just right for you. Today I will cover everything camera related on these new iPhones, including macro photography, new photo processing, and of course filming cinema quality footage with just a phone, which maybe will help you to decide if this iPhone 16 series is right for you and if the features on this iPhone 16 Pro worth the price difference. So first, let's check these cameras undertones, see if there's any difference between iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Pro, and why are these new filters here in the first place. Right in the box, the phones give you the adjustments of two things: tones and undertones. Tones control your shadows and black point of the image. Basically, now you can manually reduce that HDR brightening of the shadows, or you can boost it all up to get that kind of Wes Anderson movie image. As for the undertones, they work identically on both phones, and they're basically filters, but with manual adjustments. So the way I see it, now you are responsible for the shots you are taking. If you don't want to edit too much, or you complain a lot that your photos do look too HDR-y, now Apple can tell you, well, it's not our phone's fault, it's just you setting the wrong settings and using wrong filters. So this is a pretty smart move, and so far there is no difference between iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Pro if we talk about the filters. So if you feel a bit overwhelmed with these photographic styles, do not worry, here's how you can check the way they affect your photos. But it's not inside the camera app. You have to go into the settings, camera, and then select the photo styles. And then the phone will ask you to choose 4 shots, and then you can see what the styles do to your photos. Now I hear a lot of big channels here on YouTube saying that there is not a lot of change on the new iPhone 16 series. As for me, I haven't seen this many changes since I think iPhone 13. And I have not started yet with this camera control. I'm not gonna say the B word button. So camera control. It is present both on iPhone 16 base model and iPhone 16 Pro Max, so there is no sacrifice, both phones get identical button and controls. And basically it's in a way a function button that you have on most cameras, which you can assign a certain action or setting to, which is a cool idea, but in practice it feels like it was designed by someone who did not spend much time actually using it, as I found it counterintuitive in many cases, and it's coming from someone who films videos and taking photos professionally. Like, why can't I just reorder the settings that camera control adjusts? Even on 16 Pro, I mean, it has the Pro in its name. Let's say I want to use the camera control to adjust my tones, but then if I need to jump into the zoom menu, I have to endlessly scroll through the settings, and most of the times the phone does not recognize my touch as well. But I'm listing all these problems too soon, so let's just start one by one. So this button right here is half touch sensor and half real button. So if you double press it, then you can switch between, you see I just made a mistake. So if you double press it, then you can switch through different modes that this camera controls have to offer. It has to be slight double press, not all the way through press. And after that, you can map the camera control to adjust the following 6 things: exposure, depth, zoom, cameras, styles, and tone. And here's the first problem. The sensor part of this button does not work well with my skin. I don't know why, but whenever my wife switches between different modes, she has no problem whatsoever. But for me, sometimes it works and sometimes it just ignores my touch completely. And keep in mind, right now it's relatively warm outside, so do you think its performance can be also affected by the colder temperature? Because I have a suspicion that it can. Like, how it's gonna act if I use it in the winter. And I'll make sure to test it in my long-term review, so make sure you're subscribed to not miss that. And this camera control problem happens both on iPhone 16 base model and 16 Pro for me. But other functions of the camera control work great. Press and hold, it will start the recording, but you need to keep it pressed, which is fine I guess for short clips, but I wish I could adjust it to keep on recording even after I let go of the camera control button. And personally, I want to remove some of the features that assigned to this camera control by Apple, like depth and styles. Like, I would never want to change the filter inside the camera just with this sensor button. It doesn't make sense for me. I would much rather do it by just the display touchscreen. But I loved using it for tone adjustments to make my shots look less HDR-like. That is very useful. There is a lot more of the camera controls I will cover in the future videos, but first let's have a closer look at the cameras of the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro. Here, same as before, iPhone Pro and Pro Max have that Apple RAW photos, which do look awesome, but they are very big in file size. iPhone 16 base model peaks at the HEIF Max format, which is great, but falls a little bit short behind. Basically, if you want to edit your photos, then Apple RAW files allow you to push the edit more before breaking apart. But I usually do not go that crazy on the phone photos, so even HEIF Max is enough for a social media post for me. If we put them both side by side, the main cameras are very similar, especially during daytime. However, the iPhone 16 Pro has bigger sensor, which does result in wider field of view and better low light. Oh, and also it feels like it gives more shallow depth of field as well. And for most of landscape shots, they're very identical. What they do process differently is photos of people. iPhone 16 Pro gives more dynamic lighting on faces, while the base model keeps it more uniform. Especially it's noticeable in portrait mode and when the conditions are closer to low light. The settings are identical on both phones, and so is the subject separation. iPhone 16 performs on the same level as the Pro and Pro Max in portrait mode, except for when you're using 5x telephoto lens on the Pro. In that case, you get really close look to the portrait lens on full frame camera. Wide angle camera seems to be better on the Pro, but if we compare them to the last year's series, iPhone 16 base model now also has that macro switch. So just bring two phones closer to your subject and there you go, this is your macro. I got many comments of people saying they never used macro mode before, but I personally love photographing different insects and flowers, and it's very important to remember that sometimes it's not about actual macro photography, but it's just the ability to focus closer, which opens a lot more opportunity for creative shots when filming videos too. I wish there was a similar manual switch on the iPhone 16 Pro for the telephoto lens, so I could switch manually to the 5x telephoto instead of the phone just trying to guess the focal length for me, because the LiDAR sensor really makes mistakes sometimes. I think I say this every year. Now let's talk about the real difference between these phones. It's the ability of the 16 Pro to film log videos. All the footage that you see right now was shot on an iPhone with Apple Log. So while iPhone 16 base model films videos of pretty decent quality, but the log is the only thing that sets these phones apart from the competition for me. iPhone 16 as of right now does not support Apple Log filming, even with Blackmagic camera app. And you probably noticed that the video samples that I showed you have this kind of widescreen aspect ratio to it. This is because I often use these freewell anamorphic lenses on the iPhone. I can either use these accessories with the case if I want to keep my setup low profile and compact just for daily use, or I can go all out and put the cage on. And it also has a few hidden features which I have not seen on any other products before. Like these handles have built-in selfie stick, plus these handles are rotatable and I do not need any tools to reposition them. And I think this footage you're seeing right now is just the statement of how great the iPhone footage is. You know, I just came back from my trip to Amsterdam and I had the full frame camera in my backpack at all times, and I did not use it almost at all because it's so compact and I carry it always with me. So one moment I'm talking on the phone, but then I see something cinematic happening in the distance. I pull that anamorphic lens out and start filming like crazy. True story. And even though Freewell sponsored this video today, they never told me what to say or even asked me to send their videos to check before posting. So if you want to upgrade your phone camera and support a real innovative brand, then the links are in the description. Yes, another difference between iPhone 16 and 16 Pro is the telephoto lens, of course. iPhone 16 also supports digital zoom up to 10x, and they both look very similar on smaller displays at 5x, which is native optical zoom for the Pro. It tells you how good the main camera, is on the base model. But if we talk about zooming closer, then it is apparent how the eye processing of the photo kicks in, and the iPhone 16 starts to manipulate the image a little bit too much, which is very noticeable on the fine details like street clocks here. Now, if you want to film your videos with the built-in stock camera app, then both phones provide great image stabilization. Sometimes it feels like you're filming with a gimbal even. And I'm not sure if filming slow motion on the phone is important for you, but iPhone 16 Pro gives you 4K 120 and the iPhone 16 is 4K 60 FPS. Personally, I cannot remember the last time I used the slow motion on the phone, but if it is important for you, then the Pro gives you more flexibility for slow motion. I mean, how can someone say at this point that the iPhone 16 series is underwhelming? I haven't even talked about the new voice isolation features for your videos, which is funny enough, both available on this iPhone 16 base model and the Pro. Yeah, the hardware itself might be different, but the software features pretty identical, I want to say. This is the image and audio quality, so let's see how this new AI processing of the audio works. I'm gonna step back, so it's about, I don't know, 1.5 meters between me and the phone. Better field of view and probably bigger sensor too. So for low light, it's going to be much better. If we talk about the ultra wide angle lens, then in this case, And we kind of seen this audio processing in Google Pixels. I showed it many times in my videos and other Android phones, but it seems like the iPhone not just removes these noises, but also applies some EQ, pretty much like color grading to video, but voice grading to your audio recordings. And that audio processing really does make your videos sound more vibrant and organic while decreasing the noise. While on the Pixel, it sounds more robotic, like people will notice that you are using some denoiser or AI feature. Another cool feature I want to mention here is that I uploaded all the data over here, and it even copied all the settings I had in Blackmagic camera app. So I had like white balance set up, I had all those features on my iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is now identical over here. It was just like synchronized without any problems, and by accident it also imported a lot of the footage from Blackmagic app, and I have all the log footage right here. The log, keep in mind, is not available on this phone, but the clips are there. Pretty funny because everybody says, me included, there is no log, but as you can see, this is log footage. Now you guys left me many comments and replies on Instagram for this video, so I will use some of them if you don't mind. Is camera control useful or useless?
I can't make it work in a user-friendly way. Like, I just swipe to switch between, let's say, go from zoom to the change in exposure, but those two settings are mapped too far away, and you have to just switch between different, like zoom rocker, then you go through filters and everything else. It's just quicker for me to go via display, so I don't really use it that much as I thought I would. For some instances, like adjusting the tone, contrast, or exposure, yes, it is useful, but more often than not, I just accidentally trigger and change the settings that I did not want to change. I'm not so sure, maybe you have different experience. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments, but personally, I just ask for manual mode and white balance adjustments on this phone. That's it. And Apple just gave us a whole lot of confusion. Yeah. Let me know what you think about that.
Also, I think in a way it does not make sense to have this camera control in all auto mode. Like, it would be cool if I could adjust shutter speed or ISO with this camera control switch, but there is none of these adjustments in the built-in camera app. And the app that offers all of those controls, Blackmagic camera app, it does not support it. So the camera control only works with auto mode. So I really hope it will get optimized for the people who truly use the potential of their phone cameras to the fullest, like I am. So this is how I made my choice when deciding between these two iPhones. I still need Apple Log to film when I travel, but for daily use, I do not want to have bigger and heavier phone. So my wife will get this iPhone 16 Pro, and I will keep this iPhone 16 base model. And let's see how it's gonna go with this one. I have some epic content scheduled about this iPhone 16 series that you do not want to miss, along with some surprising new phone releases scheduled very soon. So make sure you're subscribed and bell notified. Is this how you say it? Bell notified? And no, I do not use any ProRes, but film log in a smaller codec to save space on the phone. I will cover all these details in my masterclass, which I'm preparing currently, so make sure to join the waitlist to be notified when it's out. I will keep it affordable for everyone while sharing the best knowledge about filming with your phone. And meanwhile, make sure to watch this video next, as I think it will be perfect for you, and I will see you there. Bye bye.